soup, if you will. We're not making a chicken pot pie. We're going to take that flavor and goodness and comfort food, and we're going to twist it up a little bit into a soup or a stew, as you'll see here. So without any further ado, we'll get our stuff up in here and try to get her somewhat in position here. Here in this wooden trunk, we have a cast iron collection, which we're going to go through a little later in the video. Little smoke ashes in there. So if you're interested what's in the trunk, stay till the end of the video and we'll show you what we got in there. We'll go through the whole collection. Settled in there a little bit, huh? Let's bring her up a link. Bring her up a link. Maybe we'll lay this here, rehook that, keep it out of our pot. So first things first, we're going to start with some olive oil. Tablespoon or so. I left in a hurry to go camping. I grabbed this right off my kitchen counter. And then we're going to brown this chicken up in that little bit of oil first. I didn't bring any onions. Celery. I would normally put some onions and celery diced up small in this, but that's probably at home on my kitchen counter. But this is one boneless, skinless chicken breast. Foggy out today, but it'll be pretty nice. It's nice and cool. It's like 68 out today. I think 68 is going to be the high. We might be getting close to that now. It's lunchtime, so little Jim Country boy's over the lake fishing. Got a couple friends there with him, and they'll all be back later. They're going to want to eat lunch here shortly too. So if y'all would like to see me attempt anything like that over a fire in cast iron, feel free to leave in the comments what you'd like me to try and cook, or if you want a good recipe for something that you can cook over. I mean, everybody can do and find recipes, but you can't always find out how to do it with cast iron over an open fire, because that takes a little bit of a tweaking of the recipe and experience, I think. It's a little different than cooking at home on your range. Once I got the pink out of this chicken, we're going to start with the soup part. Some water and things in there. throw the lid on there, give her a little heat. Hold in some of that heat and see what's going down. That wood starts to catch pretty good. It's one of them things that you got to keep an eye on it. If that fire gets too hot now, I got to probably burn the crap out of my hands because I don't have gloves with me. I'm going to try to make do with these pot holders I stole from the kitchen at home. If I got to adjust that chain higher. All right, I think that's good enough because we got to boil everything yet. So we're going to start some purified drinking water, great value brand from Walmart. Pack it in, pack it out. I think let's start with probably 4 or 5 bottles here. Boy, is that good water. It tastes great, nice and refreshing. They're not even cold, they're like lukewarm. So this is number 2 for the stew. Number 3 for the stew. We may or may not add more. We'll see how we go. In here, to make things easy when I go camping, and I suggest you can plan ahead and do the same thing. I have parsley, about a tablespoon of parsley flakes, a tablespoon of chicken base bouillon, or about 8 bouillon cubes. I have 1 medium bay leaf. I have some cracked black pepper in here, and some couple dashes of oregano. And it just makes life easy. Instead of bringing all them containers out of the spice rack or buying more, you plan ahead. This nice little bag. Great value brand from Walmart. Quart size freezer bag. I have about 2.5 cups of lima beans and probably 3 cups of peas and carrots, the frozen kind. And we're just going to add that in to the chicken in the water with the seasoning. Fire's a little hot right there. Now once that gets and boils very well and is really hot, we're going to add in dumplings. And the way I made them is in this bag, I put a teaspoon of baking powder, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, and half a cup of water at home. And I mixed it up a little bit like this, just so that the baking powder got mixed in the flour, and then added the water in and then mixed it again. And then what we're going to do is either bite the corner off or cut the corner off with a pocket knife, so you got like almost like a pastry bag. And then we're going to drizzle this into boiling water, as you'll see if you stay tuned. And the water's got to be at a rolling boil, very hot, which is going to be a little tricky maybe here today if my fire's not hot enough. And you put them in as you stir it slow, real easy stirring it, just to keep them from sticking together, and they cook up dumplings in there. Oh, there's a little bit of salt in this flour solution too. And then the last thing after that's all done, right before we take it off the fire, we're going to add some of this powdered milk here. Now we're going to just let this sit here with the heat. Put this lid on to help it boil faster. Now it's a waiting game. I can show you through my trunk of tricks. I bought most of this stuff separately. This here is the carrying bag for the tripod. It's very tough quality. And then you see I have that Dutch oven with legs. I have this metal trivet for setting that on the table. I have a smaller Dutch oven without legs. And this has never been cooked with. This is brand new. Oh, I walked into a spider web. I hate that. I want to see if I can get close, see if you can see this on camera. Oh, kicked the camera tripod. Know if you can see how that has a sheen to it. It's dry. You see those little drips dried up there? That's dry. See? All sides. And that's what it is. And that's almost as good as that Teflon non-stick coating. It's actually better than the cheap non-stick coatings. See the inside? That sheen? It's like a non-stick. And the way you do that, you wipe that down with cooking oil. Some say flaxseed oil is the best. I don't know what's the best. I don't care. I use vegetable oil, it's called. I get it at Walmart in them big jugs, and that happens to be a soybean oil is what I use for this. And I soak down a kitchen cloth like this or paper towel, and you soak that whole thing until that whole cooking vessel, whether it be a pot or a Dutch oven or a pot with a lid like this one, and you soak it all down till it's dripping wet with oil, and you put your oven, preheat your oven as high as it'll go, like 550, like on the clean cycle, and you leave that in there for 30 minutes or so until it looks dry, and it's going to make a lot of smoke. And then you let it cool down for an hour, and then you repeat that. Soak it with oil and cook it at that hot temperature again for another half an hour, and then you let it cool down. You soak it with oil a third time and bake it at that high temperature again for half an hour or more until it's dry, and then let it cool down, and then store them in a dry place. And that's how you season your cast iron cookware, at least the first time. Afterwards, you can wash it with mild soap and water, dry it. You can put it next to a wood stove or a campfire, or on your burner or your stove, put a little heat to it till it's dry, and then take a paper towel, very damp, just a little bit of oil, and coat everything and put it away till next time. If you don't want it to smoke in your house, because it does smoke a lot, I'm going to warn you. You got a big gas barbecue grill at home. If you don't have a thermometer, you can buy one at Walmart or walmart.com. Just drill a little 3/8 hole, bolt that thermometer in there, and you put your grill up to about medium high till it's at 550. And then you can set these coated with oil inside there for 30 minutes. And then the smoke's outside, not inside the home. Here's a nice skillet that came out of my collection here I have. And I'm going to do breakfast up here one of these mornings, and maybe some lunch. This baby is even good in the house on the range. This is one of my favorite pieces. Last but definitely not least in the box. And again, I'll leave links to all this where you can get it. That side is a grill. Burgers, hot dogs, steak, bacon. And this side's a griddle. Bacon, eggs, burgers, that kind of thing. Omelets. Using this stuff today, so we're going to put it back in here. Some of this cookware is expensive, it seems like, but compared to the other stuff you buy, these non-stick pans, and throw them out and buy more, and throw them out and buy more, and they don't work right half the time. They get them dense bubbles up in the middle where they warp after a while. And this is a more economical way you take care of these cookware. It'll last you a lifetime and then some. In fact, I'm sure you know there's people that buy this used cookware and they recondition it and then use it again. Some of it's 100 years old. You take care of it, it don't go bad. I wonder if we're getting to a boil yet. I don't hear it. We could take a peek. No, not yet. It's heating up good though. Got nice steam going. There we go. Now she's starting to boil up. Couple stirs. I don't think it's been 15 minutes since we put this on here and said we were going to make it boil. You can judge by the wood on the fire. I haven't put more wood on it. Now, I always lose pocket knives. I never have them, but I don't ever lose my keys. I did once when I was younger and I learned a hard lesson. A friend bought me this from Walmart. If I can find the link still, I'll leave it below. This is the deal here for a pocket knife. You see that? That fits right on your keys. It looks like a key, and it's a little lock blade knife. And what we're going to do is use it and try to cut a little corner off the end of this bag. But that's all we want to do, is just cut that little tip off. And then we're going to use this like a pastry bag. See? It's starting to come out. You find the hot spot where it's boiling, drizzle some in, cut it off with the spoon, stir it up a little bit more, stir it in. 2.5, 3-inch long pieces, short pieces, whatever you like, it doesn't matter. If it stops boiling on you, you got to stop a minute and let it get some heat going again. You need a rolling boil so they don't settle on the bottom and turn into a lump of dough. A little smoky. Should have had a little tough cutting these off with a wooden spoon. Shoot for bite-sized pieces. That's what you're aiming for. While I sit, I'm going to scoop the bay leaf out, throw that in the fire. Just keep sliding her down, get it all out of there. Stir that up. I think I pretty much got this bag cleaned up. Yeah. You want to let that boil and simmer for a little longer now. Just let that dough cook. If I had this to do over, I'd have brought 2 tablespoons of chicken bouillon instead of 1, making it about 16 bouillon cubes. But it'll be what it is. A little extra salt, pepper maybe, I don't know. You know, it's like anything else, you got to cook it to your taste. I'd be careful you don't boil these dumplings into oblivion. I'm going to call this done. Gonna see if I can get this on here. As stuff's leaning here. This table and ground ain't level, so it's a little slippery. So I'm not taking too many chances here. My lunch. I think I might even throw a towel on the top of that so it's non-slip, being how this table's leaning. I'm going to make some good trivets here in another video. I'll probably film it. I'm going to weld up some horseshoes and make some good trivets. I'm going to make some that I can cook with on the fire too instead of the tripod. I don't know if the legs are on the table or not. I think they are. What we need to do is add in this powdered milk. I can put it in here. Another 1/4 cup of milk. 1/3 of a bottle of water. Snap this lid on tight. Shake it up, make the milk now. Dissolve that into the liquid good, then add that liquid into the pot. There's a slick on top, a chunky. Almost like when you make lumpy gravy. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Now we'll boil this up. Try dumplings, see how they are. Very good. They're a cross between a noodle and a biscuit. That's very good. See the dumplings on top there? And some chicken. There's the chicken. That's a dumpling. Pretty lima beans. See the parsley and the herbs. It's really missing the onions and the celery for me, but you could put poultry seasoning in it, sage, whatever you like. But you see that broth? That milk and that chicken bouillon flavor is what makes that taste like chicken pot pie. And then the dumplings give it that flavor almost like a pie crust. There's a dumpling there. Cut that in half with the ladle. You can see what that is. There's the side I cut. I know it looks like chicken on camera, but it's not. I promise you. That's the dumplings, the flour solution with salt and baking soda. Here's the chicken. Beautiful bowl full. I'm going to set this back on the fire now that it died down. cup full of milk, half a cup of milk, I'm sorry, 2/4 cups. Like, subscribe, and help support us. Share us on social media like Facebook.